Hello and welcome back to my channel where I do draw with me videos until somebody notices that I'm doing art and I get famous or make a lot of money or just get a lot of views. I don't really know. So let's draw some spooky little ghosties, and I'm going to turn these into a PNG that I can sell on merch, or I can sell on Amazon, or I can sell as a PNG, as a digital file. And in this video, while I'm drawing, I'm trying to make these videos sort of a log of what I'm doing as I'm trying to grow my art business, so that if you're also trying to do that, then you can follow along and it's not just me drawing and looking boring. So so in this video, I think today I'm going to talk about Etsy and whether or not it's a viable career option. So the short answer to that question is yes, and the long answer is maybe. Let's get into why. So I follow somebody on YouTube called the Etsy Consultant, and I decided to start doing an Etsy shop. Originally, I was doing Etsy to sell my coloring pages, but realized the only people buying from me were people who were already buying like my coloring books, which is great. I love every customer, so I'm not complaining about that, but I was sending traffic to Etsy. So what I really want to do with this is use the Etsy algorithm to create traffic to my store through Etsy. So that requires a little bit of extra effort, or different effort, I should say. So that's one of the things that I did with this specific drawing. And when I say the short answer is yes, Etsy is still a viable option, it's because I know people who have successful Etsy stores. And most of those people are very, very niche. Now, because I'm doing art, it's not super niche, so I have to figure out what I'm going to be selling. And this is a learning process to the nth degree, if that makes any sense. So if you followed the Etsy Consultant at all, one of the things and one of the hardest things that he says to do is to upload something every day. And for digital supply stores, you want at least 300 items in your store, which means 300 days. Now, what I've gathered from watching a bunch of videos is that you can actually add more to that once you start making sales. Now, I have switched over my Etsy to 100% digital supply store, which means PNGs, sometimes SVGs, but things that people can use to put on t-shirts or put on clothes or tumblers or stickers or whatever it is that they are working on at that given time. And if this is something that you're thinking about doing, just know that this is a long game. This is not something that's going to happen overnight. And I think that is what I am viewing as the barrier to entry for this specific way of making money with my art. Now, the biggest problem that I see with this specific strategy is that there are tons and tons of people on Etsy selling AI art. Now, mine's all going to be hand-drawn, and that's sort of like the thing about my store is that everything is hand-drawn and I have videos to back it up. So if somebody is downloading, they can go watch me draw the specific video. I can upload videos of me drawing it, and it just draws, I think, will eventually draw more attention. Now, because digital supply is such a saturated market, we do really need to niche down, which I have not fully done yet. At the time of recording this video, I have about 30 items in my store, which means I've been publishing something every day for about 30 days. And what I've been doing is taking my previous art, like drawings, and uploading them as a way to sort of get a feel for my store, and while I research and see like what I actually want to put on there. I am getting a little bit of traffic to my store, but as of this point I've not made any sales, and I was fully expecting that, so this is not a disappointment to me. This is all a learning journey for me. So what I'm going to be doing now is doing more research and making more specific items for specific niches, if that makes any sense. Now, I don't have a specific niche for my store. Ooh, the cicadas just got really loud while I was recording this. Okay, they've quieted down. Okay, moving on. So what I'm doing now is trying to figure out what my next set of items will be. So one of the things the Etsy consultant says to do is to get about 30 items ready for your store or more, so that you can have sort of a runway to upload every day for 30 days. And then while you're uploading, so every day you go in and you publish and you publish and you publish, you start creating the next batch of 30. So right now I'm sort of in between because I wasn't really sure what I was going to be doing. Anyways, long story short, I'm figuring it out and I'm doing a lot of research on Etsy. And all of this research is happening while I'm uploading stuff that I already have ready to go. So I have about another 20 ready to publish, but I'm realizing now that they are not niched down enough. So this is going to be super, super specific. If you want to do this, you need to get really hyper specific with what you want to do, unless you're planning on just being very, very, very patient. So I really highly recommend going to watch a bunch of the Etsy consultant videos and learning from him, because he's obviously the expert. I'm not, but he is who I am referring to when I'm going to. It's basically the only person that I'm following, because there's a lot of stuff out there about Etsy, but he really shows like what he's doing. He shows the results, and I've actually I know people who have Etsy stores who have followed his specific methods and have seen the results from it. So for instance, my husband has an Etsy store and he was doing it very casually at first. He found the Etsy consultant, and then he has seen a lot of results from using the Etsy consultant's methods. So he's the only person I'm following. I'm not taking any courses. I'm not following any other influencers about this specific topic. So your next question is probably going to be, okay, Christy, so how are you going to decide what is going to be your next batch of items? So what I've done is Etsy has a little analysis tool, and I have analyzed what people are finding me for with the very little traffic that I'm already getting. And I'm going to be creating more items in that vein, but also doing research, meaning I'm going to stores that I like, that have a lot of digital like PNGs or SVGs, and just looking at what they're selling. And we don't want to copy. Let's get that out of the way. We're not copying anything, and I highly recommend that you never copy anything somebody else is doing, but you can use it as inspiration to make your own. For instance, these little ghosties. If I found somebody who, I didn't find anybody who was doing this, there probably is, but if I found somebody that had little ghosties, I might do a pack of little ghosts, but I would never want it to be exactly like what they have. I would want it to be like my own specific version of it. So take that and do what you will with it, but just make sure we're never copying. That's what I'm trying to get at here. So what I'm looking at when I'm doing the research is I'm trying to find people who have a significant amount of reviews. So my general rule is I'm looking for over 1,000 reviews if I can find them, and if not, like the top reviews. And then I'm going to their store and I'm seeing if they have a specific niche, how many items they have, and scrolling to their reviews to see how often they're selling and people are actually reviewing, because I think that's one of the most important things, is because you can go and see that they have 1,000 items and 10,000 sales, but if it's a store that's abandoned, that doesn't help you. So you want to see what's current and what's currently selling. Another thing that I will be looking at is when you go on Etsy, when you're doing a listing, you can see in the attributes that there are occasions and holidays. So my thought process is to pick either an occasion or a holiday and then niche down within that. So say for instance, ghosts Halloween, that's pretty obvious. But say I was doing like bridesmaids or something. I might want to do like farm bridesmaids or farm bride or something like that. So it's an occasion and it's a niche. It's a, a specific topic. It's not just like random, you might want to do like back to school unicorn or something like that. So my thought process now is that I really want to make sure that I am loading up products that are trending at the current time, or holiday related, occasion related, evergreen. So evergreen would mean, if you don't know what that means, that just means it sells all the time. So for instance, Christmas might be something that's evergreen. It's seasonal, but it's also something that will probably sell all the time. School related items might be all the time because school is on most of the year. Things like that, things that will continually sell without being a trending topic. So for instance, the current political climate might be something that's trending, but nobody's looking up, Hillary Clinton now in 2024. I mean, they might be, but they're not as much as when it was a trending topic. So we want to make sure that evergreen is something that's going to keep rolling around. So this is my thought process when I'm doing these things. If you have any questions about any of this, please let me know. I am not an expert. I am learning as I go, and I have worked in marketing. I've worked in SEO. I have worked in lots of different, I have little different passive incomes kind of spread all over the place. So I am not an expert, but I do have a little bit of knowledge on these things, so I can use that knowledge towards Etsy, and that's what I'm planning to do. And a couple of mistakes that I want to mention that you should avoid, that I am actively trying to avoid, is not going too broad with what I'm doing. So essentially, Etsy offers 10 categories. So what the Etsy consultant says to do is to do 10 things at a time. So 10 of one topic, so that you don't have a million different things. You only have, I think it's 10 categories. I'm not actually sure, or 10 sections, sorry. I'm not actually sure the exact number because I'm not there yet, but you have a limited number. So you don't want your store to be, basically if you have too many things for those sections, then you're doing too much. So you really want it to be more niche than that. And again, I don't want to be like reteaching what the Etsy consultant teaches, so make sure that you go over there and watch a bunch of his videos. He has one that's like the first 100 days of your Etsy store. I highly recommend that video. It's basically a lot of his information. I'll link it below just to make it easier for everybody, but it's a lot of the information kind of all combined into one section. Something that I've gathered from the videos that I've watched and from watching other people build Etsy stores is that Etsy really values people who are in their store building it like a real business. They don't want you just going in and uploading a bunch of stuff and then walking away from it. They want you actively working in your store. And I am only about, as I mentioned, 30 products into publishing. So I have noticed that the first probably 2 weeks, I didn't get any traffic at all. It was dead. But then once Etsy started realizing that I was in there all the time and it started picking up some of my products, I've noticed that I am getting more traffic in the Etsy search. So again, my products are not the best just yet. I am working on making them better. And I'm getting better at listings and everything all the time. So all that to say that at this point in my video, I know you're going to want to probably go over to my Etsy store and see what I'm doing and think to yourself, well, if that's working, I should do it too. Don't copy exactly what I'm doing because I am not a success story yet, but I plan to be, and these are the things that I'm doing to get there. So these videos are meant to be a log of what I'm doing, and so that you can go back and see what my thought process was, or you can follow along, or we can share ideas if you're also doing this. So don't go over there and think to yourself, oh my God, she knows exactly what she's doing. So I hope you like this video. If you have any questions, drop them in the chat or in the comments. I will answer questions where I can, And I don't have all the answers, but I'm going to do the best I can to help you and help me, and we will do what we can to grow together. So don't forget to check out my other videos. I have some Procreate tutorials, and I have some other draw with me videos with my plans and things like that. And oh yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe. That's important. Apparently I'm supposed to tell you to do that. Don't forget to like and subscribe so that you see videos that come out and you can see how I'm growing and how we can grow together. Have a good day and keep drawing, and bye for now.